and we are expecting to see Prince William on Saturday taking part in the King's Birthday Parade, trooping the colour. But it's the Irish Guards trooping their colour this year. But we think maybe with the absence of their Colonel, the Princess of Wales.
Of course, yes, the Princess was absent for the Colonel's review, which was asked the weekend before the rehearsal. I think there's no expectation of her to go to any of these engagements at the moment. You know, she's still recovering. She's still undergoing cancer treatment. And I think the public have been absolutely amazing, and the press even, in sort of respecting that request for privacy. And of course, we've been, you know, very much asked not to speculate about these kinds of things. What I will say is, I think for trooping, it would sort of present, if you were weighing it up from a sort of PR perspective, it would represent quite a low pressure way to maybe show her support for the king. And, you know, it could just be a balcony appearance if she wanted to. And of course, they did make clear at the very beginning when they announced that she was undergoing preventative cancer treatment, they said, you know, she may in the future decide to do various jobs, various engagements, various visits without it being a return to work. So I think it is possible that she goes and she does that. And it's, you know, it's not considered a comeback. It's not considered a return to work because, you know, she still wants that time, understandably. But I think it could be a way, a low pressure way for her to.
You touched on there that it's from a PR perspective, it could be a way in for Kate. But is there a risk, having not taken the royal salute with the at the Colonel's review, that appearing on the balcony 1 week after would appear a bit of a snub to the Irish Guards?
So I see what you're saying, but I think it's important to make clear how different those two things are. Appearing on the balcony with the rest of the royal family and her children for a few minutes is completely different expectation-wise and also stamina-wise to taking the salute for the Irish Guards, because that is, I mean, it's quite a long process. You're inspecting all the soldiers, you're standing for quite an extended period of time, and you are also completely the focus of that engagement. So I think in terms of her wanting privacy, and just discounting whether, you know, she's well enough or whatever, whether she wants to, but just her wanting that privacy, it's very different, her appearing with all of them and sort of not being the focal point, you know, and then standing for over an hour and inspecting different soldiers and being alone at a military engagement, which is already probably not her, you know, most comfortable zone. You know, it's not like her early years engagements where she's surrounded by children and she's really in her like happy place, you know?
And we did see Kate write a really heartfelt letter to the Irish Guards apologising for missing the Colonel's
review. Course. It's not that something that she, you know, probably took that decision lightly. I think that was, you know, well thought out, and she would have really weighed things up, I imagine. And it was lovely to see that she wrote that letter. Exactly.
You talked about the focal points there, and I suppose the main focal point of the day is that it is the King's official birthday. Of course, he himself undergoing cancer treatments, and he's taken a very different approach to perhaps the Princess of Wales, kind of persevering, carrying on. I suppose if he appears on the if Her Royal Highness appears on the balcony alongside the King, do you think it would be, what do you think the symbol would be of that image on the balcony?
I think, you know, trooping in that balcony image, that is the sort of snapshot of the year for the royals. That is the time capsule of what the royals were like for that year. So I think it's amazing and important in that way to get that snapshot, which is why it would be great if she was there for that appearance. And I think it would be a show of support for him on his official birthday parade. But as you mentioned, they have taken very different approaches. And of course, they've got very different duties, right? I mean, of course, there's the royal duty in general, but he has constitutional duties that she doesn't. So I think his approach to it has been very much, you know, as monarch, I need to be seen to be believed. You know, as monarch, I need to carry out my constitutional duties, even if I'm not carrying out public-facing engagements, you know. So I think that has to be taken into account as well. But of course, it would be a lovely image if all of them were together. It would be wonderful.